No one saw it coming, and just bam, Jackson texted maybe 30 seconds after it dropped, Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee motherfucking Bucks.
Ooh.
John, I know you were asleep, so Tyler, what was your
I was
reaction?
seeing it. I just didn't have the energy, nigga.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Before we get into, what does this mean for the basketball and the NBA landscape and all that shit, I just want to talk about how it made me feel, bro.
Yes.
This is a trade that reminds you, all the joy that comes with being a sports fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a trade that made me realize how much I really miss the motherfucking NBA. Like, college football's great. Deion's a great story. NFL's been, rocking, motherfucking Tua going crazy. But that NBA drama, man, it's nothing like it, bro. That's that pure uncut right there. That shit ain't been stepped on. But
I got to go delete all the Taylor Swift related topics off the show list for today. I was so happy. I can't even tell you how happy I was.
The gift that keeps on giving. But yeah, it's just, like I said, that shit made me feel alive, bro. Like, I heard that news and I started rolling up. I put some motherfucking ribs on the grill. Like, it was a celebration, bro. Like, we are back.
Yeah, when I didn't realize how much of a Dame fan I was. You know what I mean? Like, we were in the chat. I was thinking, like, damn, he gets to go on his revenge tour. I've always wanted to. We joke about him like running from the grind, but it's because we wanted to see Dame on a team on a good team doing Dame shit. And now we get to see that. I love Giannis. We all love Giannis so much, but I'm really excited to see Dame with some fucking guys where he can go at it with somebody, and he's just not him versus another team. You know what I mean? And do it in times that matter. We saw him in the playoffs. He got washed by the Lakers and shit. You feel me? Like, not a chance. Now he has a chance of really doing something special, being the type of player he is. And so it's been dope. It'll be dope. It'll be dope for sure. We're back with another week of football, and DraftKings Sportbook is keeping us in on the NFL action with great offers every single game day. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Throw $5 down on any of this week's epic matchups to walk away an instant winner.
And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September.
Football's more fun when you're in on the action, so download the app now and sign up with code Jenkins. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, with code Jenkins, Jenkins. The crown is yours. Well, yeah, let's just talk about Dame a little bit more for a second, because you're so right. The reality is that what Tyler said is true. Most of the fun of the NBA is the culture around watching it. It's so different, right? Like football, a lot of different ways to watch it. People get involved through fantasy, etc. Basketball, I think almost everyone's favorite NBA moments involve their friends or talking to their friends in some way, right? And the truth of the matter is, when you have a player of Dame's caliber who's in Portland and the team struggles, when you have a great player on a team, you'll make an appointment to watch that team. But when they struggle, even if you're still paying attention, which those of us who, do this sort of for a living, we're watching, we're still checking in on Dame. I'm not talking to my friends about him anymore. Like the moment he won that series against the Thunder and killed the whole Thunder shit off, Dame was the center of the basketball. That was all that was all any of my friends talked about for like a week. And then it's sort of like you just kind of go away after that. And like, you see him in highlights, but he's not part of that conversation. I think that's why I couldn't agree more with what Tyler said of like, he just like walked into the starring role. Like he walked into the center of the stage. And like you said, John, you just remember all these great moments you already had with him when he was in those competitive situations. And that's what has me excited, because you're talking about a top 75 guy with the stats and accolades he did and one all-star teammate in his entire career.
We see all the analytics and what has it led to? You know what I mean? We see all the analytics, like how deep he can, the percentage he shoots from 40 feet and all this. You know what I mean? Logo Lillard. And then we're like, but what has it led to? Like you're saying, you know what I mean? And it's like, now we get to see all of that on the biggest stage against, with some dogs behind him. And one of those dogs being the best player in the league. Or, arguably the best player in the league.
At worst, number 2. Yeah.
At worst, yeah.
let's talk about that for the Bucks. Like, I love Giannis and Dame as players and people. So just the pairing of those two dudes, I'm just immediately excited. It's great that they're in the Eastern Conference because I always like having an Eastern Conference team that I'm following or rooting for that can change from year to year. But this to me is like, who's got a better third best dude than Chris Middleton? You know what I mean? Like that's what's exciting to me is you're talking about a real shift. So what do you think this does for the Bucks, Tyler?
Besides it being a duo of just two incredibly talented dudes, I think it's an incredible fit. They are just perfect for each other. That pick and roll is going to be ridiculous. We've seen the Bucks' woes is that, they are a, high tempo, full court transition team. And, the game slows down in the postseason. They have troubles, executing in the half court. They have trouble kind of closing shit out in the fourth. And you got a perfect guy for that. Right, you got one of the best playmakers in the league, a guy who will run your offense, gets rid of that problem, a guy who is phenomenal in the clutch. You know what I'm saying? If he was there for that, the last few seconds of that fourth quarter that the Bucks season ended, I guarantee you Grayson Allen wouldn't have taken a fucking shot with the season on the line. I promise you that motherfucking much. But yeah, I'm loving the fit that it is. I feel like they're a top 3 duo already on paper. I think like we said, Giannis is a top 2 guy. Dame is a top 10 guy. Like they're going to be a problem, man. I think they're the favorites to win it all in my book right now.
And in the books in Vegas, they're also now the favorites to win it all.
I think the people that they put Dame with, like the Venn diagram was a circle. This Venn diagram is not a Venn diagram. It's 2 circles that are adjacent. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like what Dame is good at, what Dame's not good at, what we can say there's things that Dame's not good at. You know what I'm saying? Giannis is good at, and the opposite, goes for Dame. So like, I just feel like it's a perfect matchup. And if they were in that situation, that the Bucks were in last year, they win by 20 because Dame's not going to let it get to like 5. He's going to settle their ass down, drop 10, you know what I mean, in fucking 3.5 minutes, and and they're going on to the next series. So like you said, they're the favorites to win it easily. I think the Nuggets, losing Bruce Brown is a big deal. I think they'll still be competitive, and that series will be fun. But I mean, this team is the best team in the league. I mean, as good as the Nuggets were last year compared to the rest of the league, I think that's what the Bucks are this year.
I think the other thing you guys talk about, the fit, I think when you have a player like Giannis who is, we've seen him play through stuff that look like season-ending injuries. He's really durable, but it showed last year. If he's not 100% or if he misses time, they are especially offensively, they're overly reliant on him. And when you couple that with his style, like you said, creating some issues in the playoffs just in terms of not being able to be in transition as much, I think this is exactly what they needed from that perspective too. Yes, the pick and roll, the pace, the athleticism. I mean, those 3 dudes playing together is just going to be unbelievably fun. I do think Chris Middleton's getting left out a little bit in this. This is going to unlock so much for him and Giannis. That's part of what's so exciting to me. But yeah, he
brings so much space in it. Chris Middleton lives in that motherfucking mid-range. He's going to be eating, bro.
Right. But what they needed was that if Giannis isn't 100%, are we looking to Brook Lopez to score 35 points for us to win a playoff game? And the answer is no. And so I had a debate with my friend my friend Ryan yesterday, who is wrong about this, but he was like, Dame's so much better than Jrue offensively. He's like, but he's so much worse than him defensively. What about what they're losing in perimeter defense? And I was just sort of yelling at him, like, this is just not what's valued in 2023 at this point, right? Like, you're switching everything in the playoffs. They're hunting a matchup no matter what anyways. Having one guard who's a great perimeter defender is not doing anything. And especially, like if Dame can be a traffic cone sometimes, okay, you have Giannis behind you now. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that his weaknesses aren't as good. Like, Giannis covers up a lot of that stuff that you would talk about with Dame.
I think we do need to kind of emphasize that, the loss of Jrue is big, but you still make that trade a million times out of a million times, right? You still get Dame there if it means you ship Jrue out. Like, they don't win that championship without Jrue. You look at how crazy he went in late in that game 7 versus Brooklyn 2021. Like, he was the only guy getting buckets for a dry spell that they had. You look at how he locked game 5 up in the finals where he stripped Book and then threw the oop to Giannis. Like, that fucking play he had versus Marcus Smart, they lost that series last year, but that play where he blocked the shot, was going out of bounds, then threw it off Marcus Smart to retain possession and lock that game up. Jrue is a bad dude, man. Like, he's one of those guys you need to win a championship, like a dude who will lock in on defense, a dude with a short memory in the best way, because Drew's a guy who will go fucking 8 for 21, but like 4 of those 8 buckets were in the clutch when his team needed him the most. Like, he's one of those guys, right? So yeah, I do think that the loss of Jrue there is going to hurt, but at the same time, you've got that fucking wall of Lopez and Giannis back there too, right? So yeah, but like I said, I do think that Jrue is going to be missed, but you make that trade a million times out of a million times for sure.
I mean, Drew's going to be missed, but like, who's really stopping the guys that Jrue is guarding? You know what I'm saying? Like, a bad game is still 28 points in a playoff game by some of the guys he's guarding.
It's just not that league anymore.
It's not that league anymore. Nobody's stopping these, these incredible guards. You know what I mean? They're literally unguardable. That's what makes them special. So, I mean, they said it'd be a traffic cone at times, but like, I mean, what makes these guys special is they make everybody a traffic cone. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I mean, he had big plays at big moments and all of that. But I mean, like you said, 100 out of 100 times you make that trade. I mean, even if they won that chip because of Jrue, they definitely still would have won that chip with Dame. You know, I mean, it doesn't change that. They got better. They got better. They got much better with this trade.
Well, and the other thing, you just don't see guys of this caliber move in this way that often. I saw yesterday, and I cannot believe this is true, but they said that Giannis and Dame have the 2 highest points per game totals of any 2 players who are joining each other after an offseason in NBA history.
That's wild.
It just doesn't happen that often. And again, like, basketball's been around a long time. You have a chance to add one of the 75 best players in the history of the game when he's not 47 years old. You're going to take that chance. The other fun note that I would have is we were, I mean, you know how fucking text message arguments are. We probably sent 200 text messages over 2 hours. And then I just texted him a screenshot of the fact that Skip Bayless agreed with him. And he texted back, "God damn it." That's a tough brand for Skip, bro. You're supposed to be a talking head. And instead, I tweeted that out and everyone said, like, nothing would make me angrier than arguing with with my friend and him saying Skip agrees with me. Anyway, I want to talk about this for a second. Tyler talked about just that culture of basketball and how exciting this was. I know I sent y'all the video. Jackson suggested that I do it this way, but I literally wanted to call my son Vinny's 5th grade class and have the teacher tell him, because for like 3 months, every day, this dude asked me in the morning, did Dame get traded last night? Because he's been that like tapped in on what happened. So I told him right after school. He walked up to me. I told him, I filmed it, and he just lost his fucking shit. Immediately walked off and started telling all his other friends who watch basketball. I'm not going to put video of other people's kids up on the internet, obviously, but his friends are all doing the same reaction as him. Like, what? Losing their minds. Like, that's like, they're thinking about posters. He's like, I can't wait for the 2K update. Like, this is what this shit is about, bro. Like, this is the shit you remember, right? Like, I can't tell you how happy that made me to have that moment with him where he was just getting the upside of how horrible it is to be a sports fan for 90% of your life.
Yeah, it's that childlike joy. Like you mentioned, so much of being an NBA fan is shit that happens off the court. Like, I'm sure we all remember where we were when MJ said he was coming back. Like, that's a moment that's etched in my memory forever. It's shit like that. And it's that unbridled childhood joy that, like I said, reminds you why we do this sports shit, why we're fans of this ridiculous ass, athletic competition that we love so much.